Welcome back to the channel. Lovely overview over Spectacle Island today. And today we're going to build a little bit of a party boat. Let's get building. So I've been looking around at various mods and various materials that I had and see what I could do a little bit different to what I normally have done. And I came across the ship's cabin, and so I had a look at that, and I was actually playing around with another mod and saw an idea in one of their pre-made houses, and so I thought could combine both of those together and see what happens. So I'm going to use these barrels today, and so you can see I'm putting quite a few out here just for now, and let's see what happens. So my idea here is, so we'll need the pillar, we'll just get that out while we're waiting. Just getting all prepared, guys, getting all materials ready, and let's see where this takes us. So here we go in nautical, so not that one, where is it, that one. So I'm going to use this one today, okay, and I'm going to use these barrels as supports, just for something a little bit different. So I do start off having a certain approach to doing this, and in the end I end up using the pillar, which is much more economic to do when placing these, but just make these all up. And these are great because they glitch into each other, and you can actually vary the height of them, which is very important. It comes in very useful a little bit later on. So you just do it like that, and you can see they're all different kind of heights at the moment. And you can do with multiple barrels, and I don't know, I didn't find a limit to them, although I only really go 3 or 4 high here. So I start off by placing the first one, and then trying, very similar, if you've seen the Atom Cat's garage build, you would have seen me do a very similar thing when I was placing the car in the garage on the cinder blocks. Very similar approach here. It actually isn't necessary, and I find a much more economical way of doing this a little bit later on in the build. But again, it's exploration. When you're exploring and trying to build things, you know, you start with one method, and sometimes you find, as you build, you'll find these ways of doing things. So and you can see there's a bit of a height difference, so here, so I have to run back and forward a fair bit picking up this pillar because I keep leaving it in the wrong place. And you see, this is what I do initially, and it's not necessary for me to keep taking the cabin off, lining something up, because what I've done is I've lined this barrel here up, or where it was to be placed, and I'm going to guess roughly where it goes. And put it in place and see how we go. But that actually, you'll see in a minute, it's not actually necessary. It's down here. What I'm doing is just trying to line it up with that barrel in a straight line, that other barrel at the other end in a straight line. So we just get that roughly about the right distance. We're pretty close there actually, it's not a bad guess. And then we'll put the cabin back on. Just see how we did. Sometimes when you're glitching things, excuse me, yeah, when you're glitching things, you have to do this in a certain order. No, there's a difficulty that you have in Fallout 4, because every material that you're going to use is going to be a little bit different, and sometimes you have to, this is the kind of process you have to go through to get things to work. So put those down first, then drop that on top of it. With the barrels, you're not going to have to do that. You can actually, and you'll see in a while, you can actually glitch them underneath and bring them up, and they'll fit perfectly. So like I said, it's always the challenge to figure out how the different materials interact with each other. Also here, because of the difference in height, you got to be careful that you don't lower the cabin too low, because those barrels will start poking through the floor above. So there's always some challenges. So, and I think about here I start to discover that maybe I can just lower that underneath and put it in place, which saves me a lot of time. If I had to position every one of those barrels in the sit like I just did, it would just take it so much longer. So anyway, if you haven't played with these again, see, so it actually goes green like that. So it's poking a little bit through, but we will fix that in a while. Now what I realise here is that's too small. So what I was talking about earlier, you can actually extend the height of these just like that. And I end up having to use 3 in a minute. So see, that's still not quite high enough. There's a bit of a gap there. But that's okay, but this is an easy way to place these. It makes life so much easier. So we'll grab one more. We just chuck it on top, and again you're guessing roughly what the height is, but the beauty of doing it this way is you can actually get the height right, and if there's a little bit too much you can just sink it down into the sand. There we go. There we go. Beautiful. Look at that. Works like a charm. So we might give you a little bit of music now, because this is just going to be a rinse and repeat exercise, and we'll catch up with you once we get back. Welcome back. So that was pretty straightforward to do. So we're just going to put a little bridge across, and we'll make this the main entrance to the cabin, I guess. Just put these pieces in. Pretty simple stuff. For some reason it doesn't want to sit down there, but we'll persuade it as usual. Here we go. Cool. Yeah, that all works. Now there are a few things poking through the floor there, so we need to sort that out, but we can do that a little bit later. So this is an important part of the build where we're starting to figure out how to run some floors around the edge of this, and it took me a while to figure this out. Now I'm just about to show you a technique to get this right. Now it's not perfect, but it's probably the best I could come up with because of the shape of the cabin. So basically what I'm doing is I'm using this foundation piece just to line up on the edge of the boat cabin there and get it as close as possible. The key thing here is make sure it lines up along the edge there and is as close as you can get it. Otherwise, if you don't get that correct, you will it'll cause you some drama. So snap a single piece in, just like that, and then you can just start to snap pieces in around the corner here. Now this won't line up 100%, and you can see I've got so many pieces lying around because I spent a long time trying to correct some of this, and this is I tried a number of techniques until I finished with this one, so it can be a bit frustrating. Now you are going to have a space here just around the corner, and you'll see in a minute, but that's okay. The other thing that when you're lining that foundation piece up is you need to try and get it so it'll fit under that stairway like it just did, so just make sure your height's right too. So my idea is to put a bit of a working area in here, so you will see in a sec, I've got to take this piece out, yep. You see in a sec that there is going to be a gap there on the left hand side, but we'll fix that with something else later. But it is tight along this edge, it's just this edge that's a little bit out. So rather than just have that sitting up on stilts and not being able to work with it, I decided to have a whole big area out here to build in, and it works out very well because I come up with some other ideas of what I can do. Now initially what I was going to do was I was going to build all the way around, and I decided against that in the end. It just, for me, just didn't look quite right. So all good so far, and we'll just continue to build this little decking area at the back here all the way through. There we go. That might even be too long there. Okay, so far so good. Piers are good. I like it a lot, and we'll just put these supports in underneath. Just to change it up a little bit. You could, if you really wanted to, if you're going to build this, you could actually go and get some barrels and do the same as we've done under the cabin if you like, if you want to keep the continuity there and it looking the same. Please feel free to do that. I'm going to use this big one here, just put it underneath. Okay, and just changes the overlook and adds to the look. You know, I've got the barrels and we've got these wooden supports as well, which, you know, if you're looking at something near the water or the sea or something, you would expect to see them in place. Okay, so far so good. Okay, so I'm thinking at this point I need to have an upper a way of getting up to the upper level, so that's the next part to try and figure it out. And I actually make a mistake here, but I end up leaving it because you actually don't see it. So I'll put a thick piece in there, and you'll see in a second. I think it went a step back. You'll see, yeah, there's the how thick that piece I just put down is. So here we're going to figure out how to put the gaps, close this gap here, and these floor metal sheets. There's a number of these around in different mods. Just slide them straight in there, and they're pretty good. They act as a floor, so they're great for doing this kind of work. And just plugging up odd holes, I guess, or odd gaps in your building. It does take a while because obviously I want to get this as straight as possible, and it just takes a little bit of patience to get these right. These will snap to each other. Some of them do, some of them don't. So just patience. And I think it works in with the rest of those boards that we've got down. It actually does work, and it changes it up a little bit, which is what I like. So a little bit of clipping happening, but not much. It does frustrate me a little bit, and I think I end up turning it around the other way to get rid of that. Yeah, there we go. And you can see it's reacting to the stairs a little bit there, but we get it in place eventually. All good. So far so good. And that's pretty much the largest part of the foundation done and dusted. So you'll see when we turn around, say that piece on the right there is a bit thicker. However, the way we make it, it's not going to be a huge issue. So initially I put this metal stairway in. This changes a little bit because I have some issues with walking up and down there, but for now this will do. And you just glitch it in. You can use what you like, you know, the ashtray or the rug or whatever to get this in. It really doesn't matter. I'm surprised that there aren't any ladders to go up there, because obviously there is a gap there for you to be able to get upstairs, and as you can see, there's a nice area up here for doing some building on. So but anyway, I found this one. I think it's from one of the XB1 mods, and just spend a bit of time up the top just getting it right. Like I said, in the end I scrapped this because I have some issues with getting up and down, especially getting on the first couple of steps. It tends to sticks there, you have to jump up. So anyway, for now, and again, when you're building, sometimes it's just worth putting it in place so you can visualize how everything's going to work. So basically we're doing the running up and down, thinking about what I'm going to do next. Yeah, so obviously I've spotted the difference in there. So I'm going to looks like I'm going to change that out. You don't necessarily have to do this, but yeah, just for the look. And these pieces snap in nicely. There is no issues with the collision with the stairs, so which is great. And I'm just giving a little bit of room there. Just giving a little bit more room than probably I would normally give, just to make sure that we've got room once we build this up to go up the stairs there, and you can walk around the stairs as well. So that's all pretty much the main structure, so it's just a case of dressing it up now, I guess. We'll put some rails in to start with and just start to build on the main structure and get the look right. So I'm going to go to the master plan vanilla extensions and go into the railings tab for the wood, and we'll start there, and we'll vary up these rails just to make the look a bit different, and vary it a little bit. Some builds, you know, I'll just go with the same rail. Some builds I'll go with different rails and vary it up. It just up to you. I don't think there's any hard and fast rule. Here we go. And I think initially what I was doing was looking at what rail would be the best one, but I think just leaving the variation is fine. Now we will put more barrels under this, but for now we'll just get all this in place, and we'll go from there. So we're getting pretty near the end of the first episode, so this is going to be a two-part video episode. It took a little bit longer than I thought it would, but I think it's worth seeing the whole process from start to finish. So this is an idea that you can do just to save you swapping back and forward with the different rails, is just to put so many in, then swap to another one, put more of those in, and so on and so forth. For some reason with this mod he has the single ones quite far away from the double rails. Not sure why, but I use both of those in combinations a lot. And this section here we actually end up using, so that will change. We actually change that a little bit later. So just putting all your single rails in, changing it up, double rails, single rails, whatever. All the single rails, okay. And we should be good. So once we get this done, we'll pretty much be done for today, and then we'll get cracking in the second episode. So as we finish up here, guys, I just say thanks for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I've got a lot more builds to come, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.